Well, my name is Jarrett Mobley. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. Uh, and my business is Porches and Lemonade. I got that from you know how when people ask you all the time like, what do you want to be when you grow up, or what do you want to do when you
Yes.
grow up? And
Yes.
I really just want to sit on the porch and drink lemonade. So that's
Yes.
that's really where the name comes from, and that's where the P and L. So P and L Fitness is just Porches and Lemonade Fitness and stuff. So yeah, and then really just like the I enjoy movement.
Mhm.
Enjoy movement more than anything. So so I'm not
Um,
talking too much.
you cut out a little bit there after you said the porch and lemonade piece, but
Okay.
I caught the most of what
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you're.
Oh man. You good now?
Yes. Yep, we're good. Perfect. Yeah, so I grew up with like passing by like my parents' house and they used to live like maybe 10, 15 minutes from me. I drive up and my dad would be in the backyard, middle of the day. Like he has a job, but middle of the day he'd be there with his buddies
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be barbecuing, they'd be sitting out just like playing dominoes, and they had figured out a way
Yeah.
to like get paid, do their job, and then still have time to just fellowship and just like eat food right off the grill and just like chill. And I'm here grinding my day, stopping over for a few minutes in the middle of my
Yeah.
day. So that porch and lemonade thing resonates with me because I'm
Mm.
like, that generation has figured out that this isn't the most important thing to chase after a dollar, to still take time.
Right. Right. And that's that's really my whole thing.
Yeah.
For real, cause I'm from the South, like, so hanging out with like my grandma, like I used to sit on the porch with my grandma like during thunderstorms and stuff.
Mhm.
And then we just sit on the porch. We drink lemonade sometimes, or staying at my other grandma's house. I used to sit on the porch up there and just watch like all the cars go by, or watch like the dogs and stuff play in the in the
Right.
in the yard and everything. And like that's really where I enjoy like a lot of my time, and kind of just
Right.
hanging out with the old heads. Like whenever we would have like family stuff at the crib, like I would always be by the grill, or I would be in the kitchen. So I was always with older people. I was never like with people like my age. For real.
Yes.
So it's like I guess like that old head mentality kind of like
Exactly.
rubbed off on
Right. So how do we get there? Because there's an in-between space where these people like did something to be able to earn this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Like for me, it's nah. It was on some. I ain't about to do it. That's like I'm about to take me a break. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to
Okay.
take a break. I'm gonna sit down. I don't work hard. Like they know that I worked hard. There's no question. They see the work, so they come
Yeah.
here. They ask me like why I'm taking a break. I was like, well, you can turn around. You can look and see everything that I've done. So, and
Mhm.
I deserve this, and you're not gonna take that from me. So,
Yes.
so that's the type of mentality that I got from it.
Yes. Exactly. So you're a personal trainer now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've
Cool.
been a personal trainer for about 2 years officially. Got it in November 2018, something like that.
Mhm.
And then just kind of been going up since then. It's something that I really enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you training out of?
I train right now out of my garage and out of Body Balance Pilates Studio in Greensboro. Um,
Okay.
kind of where I got my start in the whole thing. Well, in the Pilates thing for real.
Right. Right. So basically, so
Mm.
in that studio, they have like all the ways. So you're doing PT, personal
Yeah,
training
so
in that. Okay.
it's like Pilates and like functional movement, and so I'm more of the functional movement trainer, and so like
Yes.
so the space in the back we have like TRX straps and stuff like that. That's like my area to work.
Yes.
And so like I'm always seeing like the classes like on the reformer and people working on the
Mhm.
barrel and like springboard and tower and stuff. So it was like might as well like figure
Yes.
it out.
Yeah. Well, that's my background too, like coming from personal
Mhm.
training and then adding the Pilates in. Do you like, what do you see yourself doing with the Pilates side of it? And the reason why I ask that is because like I feel like I've added Pilates to my movement practice as opposed to
Mhm.
saying I'm just a Pilates teacher now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a
Yeah.
personal trainer that has Pilates in my hip pocket instead of saying I'm a Pilates instructor?
I think I'm kind of like going like the same route because like the more that I watch people do Pilates and the more that I did Pilates myself, it was like, yo, this is tight, bro. Like I can't, like I feel better every day that I do this. And
Yes.
and then so I was like, this is something that I really want to like give to people, like for real.
Yes.
Like everybody needs to do this because if I'm feeling this and I'm just the connection between my mind and my body, like the mind body connection in general, how
Yes.
that facilitates that consistently all the time, it's
Yes.
like, yeah,
Consistently.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's like, yo, like why would I not want to give this to somebody else? Why would I not want somebody else to feel that connected to their bodies and
Yes.
everything? And so kind of so it just kind of kept it as like a secret weapon. It's like a secret weapon to me.
That's
With
exactly
my friends,
legit. That's exactly, I was just gonna say that. Like, as a personal trainer, you discover another way that you can help people. And then you're like,
hmm
okay, this is my secret weapon. Like, if I'm gonna crush them with this, I can put them back together with this over here. You know?
yeah, yeah. And because when I when I first like started getting into it, like for real, like I was trying to get my friends to come, and I kid you not, like they was like, bro, what the hell, bro? What is this? Like like,
What?
what are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
yeah, because it's like I have this reputation with my friends. It's just like, yeah, you don't know what Jarret is gonna do. If he tells you to do something and he doesn't really give you an explanation, you might want to ask some questions because he could have you doing some real wild, that you had no plans on doing. But like that's
Right. Yes.
mm,
So how do you explain what Pilates is? How do, if someone straight up asks you what is Pilates, one of your friends you're trying to get to do,
uh,
how do you explain it?
I explain like this. It's like it's an exercise where you lay down the whole time. That's how I explain
That's it.
it. You lay down the whole time and you move your arms and your legs. And because when I tell them it's basically a core workout or a power, like to them they're like, like, I'm weak, whatever, and I'm just like, nah, you get to lay down the whole time, I'm
Yes.
gonna tell you what to do. You just gotta pick your legs up every now and again, not too complicated, nothing, too fancy.
Right.
And well, okay, yeah, and then I get them in there, and then I start, really working them, and they're like, oh, what, bro, tripping.
Trick me. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So how,
Um,
okay, so then, because I think a lot of us have gone through that you trick me type moment. Like, how did
mhm.
you feel the very first time you did a Pilates class?
uh, you want like a reformer? I got a reformer story and I got a mat story, so I can do
Okay, I
I
got
can do
time for both.
both.
Yes.
All right, so first time I did a reformer class, it was with Molly, who was one of the owners at the studio. Um, and we did, I think we was doing short box and like we did teaser,
Yes.
and I had like swooped down and came up to bring the arms up and everything,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden I was like, I was like, oh yeah,
Earthquake.
what is this? Yeah, for real. And then the fact that I was really like, I thought that I was dripping sweat, like I just got out of football practice, like for real, and I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah.
So I got to do this because like all the training that I've done has never hit
It
me
did
like this.
not.
None never hit me like this before. So I got to
Yes.
figure out what this is. And then
Yep.
so that was like my
I'll share my
performance.
Pilates story after. It was like, yeah.
And then
I'm like,
my mat, I did it with Claire, and I thought it was cool. I just started working at the studio, so I was just there with Claire. Whatever she was hosting mat classes at the time, and we went through the whole like mat sequence and stuff. And so I leave, I felt fine, and I get home and I'm walking to go in the house or whatever, and I kid you not, I feel like I just bottomed out, like everything, everything it's just left. It was just
yeah.
left, and I was walking in, I was shaking like. When people was like, "Yo, you good?" I was like, "Yeah, I just, I don't have."
Just Pilates.
Yeah, So
You having a seizure? No, just Pilates.
it was just Pilates.
Yeah.
And then so ever since, so anything that hits me like that, like you got my attention. Like it wasn't like it
Thank
wasn't like
you.
bad, and it felt good, and it was like, yeah, let me. So this feels good in my body. Like I feel like I've been worked, but then at the same time, I'm just like, I can do this continuously for the rest of my life. It's not like something that I
Yes.
have to do all the time.
Right. Right. That, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I was laughing, I was thinking the first time I did, not the first time I did Pilates, but like I have a friend who was doing this Pilates for athletes class, right? And it's every
Mm-hmm.
week, so I'm like, all right, so Pilates for athletes. I'm an athlete. I'll just go, play football, train all the time. I'm a personal trainer. I already move in good shape. I do this class, and she had us doing this exercise, which was like a contemporary exercise that's working on your psoas. So
Mm-hmm.
you're kneeling and trying to, and I can't even remember what the exercise is. It was not a classical exercise,
Mm-hmm.
but we're doing this exercise, and on one side of my body, I can do it no problem. I can engage the right muscles and make the move happen.
Yeah.
On the other side of my body, I cannot move the
Okay.
carriage at all. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting there like sweating profusely, and like the old lady to my side is doing it. This outer shape guy next to me is doing it, and I'm like this fit guy, and they're like just like struggling
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
cannot do the exercise on one side of my body. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming back until I can. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like I was challenged by it because it totally exposed those muscle imbalances, and it just showed me where I was weak. And that's why even to this day, like if you ask me what Pilates is, the first thing I say is it makes you strong in your weakest links.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, it doesn't matter. I could bench 300 pounds, but if my glute mid's not firing on this one side and I'm using my back, I'm gonna throw my back out carrying groceries the next day.
For real. For real. And that's
So
and that's something that I've noticed too with as far as like just creating that balance within creating that connection in the body, and then being connected to different sides of balancing it out. And then because I do practice karate as well, and
okay,
so and then there he talks about it's like Okinawan karate. It talks about the hara, and that's basically like moving from center. And
yes,
Pilates is always talking about connecting from center, and then that's like always that internal movement first, and all that. So how all that kind of like ties in, and even with doing like the TRX, it's like that
yeah,
suspension training, changing like your center of gravity
love
and
TRX, yeah,
all that stuff. So it's like all that kind of like still culminates everything, and as far as like how I am as a person, because I want to
absolutely,
always move from my heart, or like move from the center, make sure that it's like I'm considering all parts of the whole before when I'm moving forward.
yes, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense, and it's almost like that's a beautiful segue to one of the things we were talking about offline about representation.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
there's so many different parts of this humanity and like only one corner gets represented, another piece doesn't has no voice. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I've been
Right.
thinking about that a lot, of late.
Yeah. So like that, just to give a little bit more background on me, I've been involved with like social justice type work since I was like 14 years old.
Mm.
Do NCCJ here in Greensboro, so that's a national. I'm not gonna mess up the
Coalition for African
name. I'm not.
American.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not National Conference for Coalition and Justice. It's like a national type thing.
Okay.
Um, but been in those type of trainings as far as like hearing different stories and seeing like what a white dominant space look like, what a black dominant space look like, all those different things, and just being
Yes.
introduced to all the isms and learning how to unpack the isms and how to maneuver within it and everything.
Maneuver within it. It's
Yeah, so
key. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's and also like teaching kids, because we also go to like all the local middle schools and high schools,
Hmm.
and we go to there we talk about bias, bigotry, and racism, and like how to combat those things, and
Yes.
how you should move and stuff like that. And
Wow.
so when I get into like spaces, like when I first started working at the studio, like I told Grace, I was like, yo, I feel my skin when I come in, and
Mm,
then so it was just like, and I went to a predominantly like white school, so I went to East Carolina University and everything, and like that was some shit down there too, though, because I was there during when Trump was getting elected for the first time,
okay.
and well, actually, like Michael Brown, when Michael Brown got killed, uh, we had like a protest on campus, and
Yes.
we had like a lay-in, and then, so then I was walking by, and I was seeing like some white kids that I was going to class with talking about, oh, the niggas always like complaining about something, they doing this, they doing that, and then I went to the Trump rally at in Greenville, and then like I never felt so hated in my life. Like for real, like
Yeah.
that was wild. Like because I was in like, I just got off work, so I was in like my ECU stuff. You know,
Yes.
I figured I was neutral, but obviously my skin does not make me neutral. So, um,
That's facts.
so I'm walking up, I'm walking up, and then like I keep, you know, it's like they G checking me, like, yeah, like what you about to do, like where you from, like, you know, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and like, so like, you know, how I would normally respond to that would be like you know, like fight, like get back, like, well, like what you doing, but
Yes.
then I understood, like in that space it was just like, nah, I can't even do that, because like that's what they want. So
Right.
then
And you're confirming their stereotypes and their preconceived ideas already by doing anything that's erratic,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but like y'all put the hate on me, y'all make me feel this way, like y'all make me want to like
Yes.
get buck with y'all. For real, for real.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and yeah, and so when I came to the studio, and just kind of like, because the studio is on like the north side of town from where I live, and like whenever like I went over there growing up, it was like a special occasion type thing. Like, well, what we going over here for?
Okay.
Like, you
Yes.
gonna go
Yes.
over here for like an hour, and then we going back. So
Right.
so it was like a culture shock. It was like a culture shock to be over there, because then like some of the people that work at the studio, they have like their names on buildings, and like they're just in the higher ups in the community, and
Right.
I'm just like, yo, like I remember, like I wonder what this person does, and then now like I have like that person's number, and so it's like
Yes.
to shrink Greensboro like that was crazy to me. So it was like a
Yes.
huge like culture shock, because I was like,
Absolutely.
it's not accessible no more. I remember I was talking to my clients. I was like, it's all about access. Like I never had this level of access before, and so it was
Access.
just
Yes.
wow, for real, for real.
Right. Well, talk a little bit more about that maneuvering within the space, because I mean, like what you said there is having the wisdom to know your environment and but like I was in a meeting last night, and once again we were talking about how to maneuver as Black people in certain spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, can you just talk a little bit more about that, just to kind of enlighten people in terms of what that means in different
Yeah,
contexts?
yeah. Uh, I remember like growing up, I was always told like not to be a coon,
Hmm.
um, and then like that kind of was like my first like being conscious of how I move around white people.
Yes.
Um, and then like knowing that you're knowing that you're black, or just knowing that you don't look like them, and always kind of like being conscious of it. And I remember it was this one time, me and my family was at like a car auction or whatever, and my mom was like, scream, go get your daddy. And then I was like, I just screamed, yo, daddy, where you at? Like out loud in the parking lot.
Yeah.
She was like, nah, don't do that. It's ghetto. And so like that was, and you know, kind of like being like conscious of like in that space, because it was
Yes.
predominantly white people out there. And then so like just taking that and like internalizing that, and seeing how, like, just paying attention to how people respond to me, you know, as far
Right.
as like as far as like the code switching goes, like if I'm talking like proper, or then like I switch it up and I say something slang, and then I'm
Yes.
noticing how like like the person switches their, oh, I could talk like you, and
Yes.
then we can get like kind of like, and that's when I started picking up on like, okay, how I present myself kind of dictates how they respond to me. So kind of like
Right.
noticing like that power
Yes.
in the whole thing, and then uh so when I'm in those spaces, it's like I'm super conscious of myself, and
Yes.
how I move, and it was like and it's like it's really like almost like I don't want to say debilitating, but it kind of like locks me in sometimes. It's like I don't want to move too much. Like basically, my movement stops. Like
Yes.
I'm not gonna move too much. Because I already know that attention is on me, or I feel that attention is on me. And
Right.
if I do this, I don't know how it's gonna be like,
Be perceived.
yeah. And it gets to be very limiting, and yeah, just just feel like locked
Yep.
inside, and I just want it, and wanting to, and then it makes me feel like I have to escape something. Like, what am I trying to escape? And just like it depends on like how like you catch like what day you catch me on, like how I'm going to respond to you, if I feel comfortable enough to be
Right.
myself that day,
Yeah.
and I move like that.
Because it takes energy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is and that's the thing. And even here, I'm in Toronto, Canada, and so it's
Yeah.
a lot more covert in
Mm-hmm.
the way that racism is expressed and people's perceptions of you are expressed because it's such a multicultural environment, but there's
Yeah.
still that systemic racism. There's still a
Mm-hmm.
predominant, you know, um, attitude towards a lot of things. But
Yeah.
what you're saying still resonates with me, even though it's not as overtly out
Yeah.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the lines that you said before, saying what you said a few minutes ago was code switching.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw a definition or an explanation of code switching, and I want you to just tell me if that's accurate, and then add to it
All right.
if
Yeah.
there's anything you want. So code switching, for those of you who are watching and have heard that phrase before, think of like Oprah Winfrey back in the day, and she would have people on her show, right? And then she'd have the Duchess of York come on or something, and then she talks proper and she says some things, and then she could speak and talk about things, current events with them in a certain way. And then the next guest that comes on is like Denzel Washington, and then they could talk his movie, but then they kind of drop back and they lean into like their slang or just like talking about familiar things, and then someone else can come on and then she can speak person that way. And then there was a pushback that she got because people say, oh, she's acting white. Oh, she's acting black. Oh, she's from the hood now. And that was an example of code switching where she was using that ability to connect with people, which made her successful. But then it got pushed back because it looked like she was being fake and just being a chameleon to the person in front of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's basically
It's
what it is.
like, is
Yeah,
that it? Like,
that's basically what it is. I just understand it. I was like, we just got different dialects of English. Like that's how I look at it. Like,
yes,
so sometimes I speak different dialects of English. I can speak like the medical jargon if I need to. I can speak like, fitness. I can go hang out with my boys and talk talk like them if I need to.
yeah, right,
And like that's all a part. It's all a part of who I am.
right,
And yeah,
right.
because
So,
it. Go ahead, my fault.
oh, sorry. Yeah, no, like, exactly. There's a different dialects. You know, my parents are from Jamaica, so there's a whole patois and the whole thing too.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have to change who I am to accommodate you, that's the piece.
Mm, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
piece, right? I
yeah.
mean, because like we can do that all day. We could talk Pilates and we could talk high level like muscle activation all day. But if that's the only way that I'm going to receive you, then we have a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of, and we get taught to that we got to talk proper, like, or you can't use slang in like everyday
Yeah.
like words, like, and then
Right.
and you get looked at as like less than if you say if you say like yo whatever, or even like how I choose to write my captions on my Instagram page, like,
Yes.
oh, like, oh yeah, he ignorant, like he takes off the G's, he uses the U, like, stuff like that. And it's like, bro,
Yes.
we can have a very 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 intellectual conversation with me like that. We can take it there, but
Yes.
like, I understand I understand like where I come from, like how I talk, and what's comfortable for me, and what makes
Mhm.
you feel comfortable inside my skin is being able to verbalize myself in this way. And like
Yes.
when one thing that I'm working on right now is like being like this with my clients, because the person that I am with my clients right before is like, oh yes, go over there, get up and fold over and scoop up in the cord
Right. Right.
and stuff
Right.
like that. Real like yo, you need to go ahead and bend, do this, do that, yada boom boom boom. Talk with a little bit more, one more swing in my voice. And I was like, cause oh yeah, I was in the the Black Pilates Mentor group with Sonia Herbert,
Yes.
and so we was talking about like the Katie's getting taught
Cadence, right?
like the Katie's or something like that. It was fun, but it's it's like because I want to be able to give more of a real self of my real self, and like
That's exactly it.
and I like the word educe, or it's like the Latin root word of educate, and it means to bring forth. And
Yes.
so like I want to educe like realness from my clients, so I have to pour in like or give realness from me
Yes.
to pull that out of them, so
Right.
get that whole thing in the movement. So
Love it.
yeah, so that's
That's what's
really
up.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. I think I'm loving these conversations because I think in many ways Pilates is our currency to bring that realness out.
Yeah, yeah, for real, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
there's so many ways that we can address things in our world, but we can use this not to make it sound fancy, but this microcosm, this Pilates world
Hmm.
to say, okay, now this is how we open. Like you said, some guys, his name is on a building, but you have his phone number. You're connecting with those people. They can amplify your voice. You can be yourself. He's
Hmm.
giving you space. You're giving him space.
Hmm.
And I love that, regardless of what happens out in the real world, if that person's coming to you, you are now the authority for this hour. You are the authority in their world, right?
Yeah.
So there's
Hmm.
so many things that happen when we have this opportunity to share our knowledge and to grow and to move forward when there's that proper representation, right? So
Yeah.
it's I don't know, I found that as much as we're talking earlier about the personal training world, that's why I find myself gravitating more to this Pilates world because one, there's not that many men, two, there's not that many people of color, three, like there's so many things that are happening where we can be leaders, we can be a voice, and we can allow the leadership and example that we set here to transcend into other areas of our lives.
Right, right, right. Yeah, because like that's like just the switch of that whole power dynamic. Like you said, like it's like an internal belief. Like when I'm training like white men, like sometimes I have to tell myself like you gotta get right. Like you are the authority in this situation because this is
Remind yourself.
subconscious. Sometimes where I'm just like yo like oh yeah no it's fine, you don't have to do that. I'm like what are you doing, bro? Tell him to get up. Tell him to
Right.
get up.
Yes.
So
Right.
and it's kind of like that. It's like oh man, like I kind of see how what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say coach. I guess culture is the word. I don't know, but just to treat like them in that certain way, and versus like how I
Yes.
treat people like that. Look like I noticed there was just difference in how I was like treating people when I was training. I was like, this is weird.
Yes.
I was acting like
Right.
weird. I was like, that's not cool.
No, it's not authentic.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
It's not. But it's good that you recognize that. And for those who are watching, that's one of the things that I went through as well because I would be in a room with like the Raptors 905, right? So the farm team for the Toronto Raptors is close to my house. So I've
Yeah.
been called in to teach them. Now, I'm walking into this room and these guys are better basketball players than me, making more money than me. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
they're all thinking they're elite, right? Some of these guys are making big money and have come down. Other guys are hungry and trying to get up. So I'm looking at all these different dynamics in the room, and it's easy to shy away and be like, "Yeah, we'll just do this and make it easy." And then I have to like talk to myself and be like I'm the authority here right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in
Yeah.
charge right now. Like I don't care if your net worth is like 5 times mine. I don't care if you can dunk on me. I don't care if you have to listen to me right now. Like I am the man in charge right now, right?
Hmm.
Sort of thing, right? So, and it's not like you come at it with this, bravado, but like just self talk to remind yourself that like I've invested in my education, I've invested in my knowledge and movement, and I'm passionate about teaching people. I'm gonna lead with that passion into what we're doing right now instead of shying back because you're quote unquote more important than me.
Right. Right. and that's another thing. It kind of it gets into work. Like how do you value yourself in the
Yes.
situations, and that's something that I've been having to deal with a lot as like myself. It's like how worthy do I feel or about myself? Do I
Yes.
deem myself worthy enough to teach these people? You know,
Right. Yeah.
and
How
kind of
worthy do you deem yourself?
I have my days. I have my
Yeah.
days. Some days
Well,
I'm
it's
just
real talk, right? You can't be like, I'm the man every day, 24/7,
no,
don't
no,
stop.
no.
Like you can't,
I ain't
you know,
even,
it's not
can't
like
even
that.
flex like that. I can't even flex like that. Like
Yeah.
it's like I'm confident. I'm definitely more confident in how I teach now.
Okay.
I feel like I'm finding my way in this Pilates world, or just
Yes.
in coaching or being a personal trainer in general.
Right.
And so it's like I feel like I'm getting better every day, but I'm know that I'm nowhere near where I want to be for real. For real.
Can you imagine 10 years from now how you'll feel?
I'm waiting on it. I'm
You
waiting
know what I
on it.
mean? Like if
Yeah.
you're continuing to just chase after knowledge and chase after great movers and just learning the nuances, like that's the thing that I'm trying to surround myself with people that aren't just like really good movers, but
Mm.
people who are like really good business people or people who are
Right.
really good intuitively, who just ask really good questions. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
find out like what are my growth areas and how do I surround people that have those little nuances, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
That's the whole reason why I even reached out to you because like I was like, yo, like, I'm really trying to grow in this Pilates world, and I just want to make sure. Cause I'm the type like I will crash and burn until I can't crash and burn no more. And
Yes.
I've been doing that for a while, and I don't want to do that with Pilates because one, it's my business, and
Right.
it's not. I don't feel like that's necessary. So I know there's people out here that's done it, and I want to do it the best way possible the first time around because I really
First
want
time around. Yes.
to. Because my goal is to take it and bring it back to like my side of town,
Hmm.
and like I start offering like classes and stuff over there, just to introduce Black people to Pilates because they're like, no,
Yes.
that's literally what
I,
they.
I'm going to introduce you to Iffy.
Okay,
Do you follow, what's her, the Fit In,
no,
Bed-Stuy? Okay, yeah, I'll link you with her afterwards because she
yeah,
has a perfect example of someone who, she wasn't like a marketing executive, and then she started in a small Pilates studio in Brooklyn,
mm,
and then open another studio which is with walking distance within, and she's really keen on making that Pilates accessible. She has like group, like low entry point group classes, and
mm,
does all this stuff, right? So I think she's a brilliant businesswoman. First of all, she's a great mover and just a real good thinker, and she's thinking like you are, how do I bring this back to my community,
mm. Oh yeah,
right? So
I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah, so that's one part of it. I'm going to throw something else out for you to think about.
Yeah,
In my business, I'm looking at it from in two ways. I want to be hyper local, like my like walking distance of my house,
mm-hmm.
and I want to be global at the same time.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I like
You know what
that.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I look at it like, okay, what am I doing for my city? So I'm part of the mayor's Black Caucus. So I sit on this advisory group to the mayor. It's such a privilege to be part of this. So
mm,
understanding like, movements of the Black community in this area.
mm-hmm.
My studio's in Mississauga. Like I rode my bike here. It's that close. And I'm always thinking, how do I do stuff to give back to my immediate community?
Yeah,
But then also doing stuff like this or online classes where I'm talking to someone in North Carolina right now. So
right, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like we're doing things that like our conversation, I hope, is inspiring somebody somewhere else in the world who's just starting their business, or is that seeing two young Black men talk about life. That's something that I could have a greater impact. So that's our global piece. And then we also have our local piece. So I'm always flowing between something that's really, really hyper local and something that is like worldwide at the same time.
yeah. And that's something that I'm really doing like myself as far as like the way I'm doing it is I'm trying to get rid of like all like my name brand clothes and just like buy like local
Nice.
artists or local people who are making clothes. Like I do it like that. I
Yes.
only shop at, like I don't trust no chain restaurants. I'm anti all chain restaurants. If you're not it's not like a mom and pop shop. Like I'm not trying to go
Yeah,
for real.
yeah,
And then and always like sharing, like giving my business cards out and doing it like that, and still staying connected with like the people that I grew up with, for real, because they're doing a lot of things within the community, and like especially we have over on the east side of Greensboro. There's a lot of good brothers over there. They're doing a lot of good work, and so like I've been
yeah.
kind of like chopping it up with them, seeing what they're doing. They got like I don't know if you heard of it, but Live Alkaline Water. It's a black-owned alkaline water company out of
Okay,
North Carolina. Like they're doing a lot of good things. They're in stores now.
great. Yeah,
Um, it have there's movements like beautify the block. They have people that's going in the community like every weekend, cleaning up, painting things, teaching the kids how to
yes.
plant their own gardens and everything. Just being like self-sustained, self-actualizing, self-determined, self-determination things. And it's like it's real beautiful. Like I'm not, because of my schedule, I'm not able to get involved like I want to, but I always,
Mhm.
I do see them. When I do see them, I do show them my support.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You
those
can amplify them on your page too, right? Like you
right,
can just push them like it's your own business, like just support, support, support.
all
You
right.
know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's someone said that to me about 2 weeks ago, Jared. It stuck with me. It's another Oprah reference, but I was saying like you'll see on my post, I'm like go to this person's thing, sign up for that. I have stuff going on. I'm still pushing someone else's thing, and they said to me, Oprah on her show, she like did a book club. She promoted everybody's book on the planet. She's still doing okay. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Saying like you can support other people and still be okay. So I would just like leverage every local voice and just promote them because it builds a sense of trust because it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't appear as being selfish. You're not self-serving. You're amplifying other voices, man. Like
Right, right,
that
right.
is so key for what we're doing. Like you see, even Sonia just popped up in the room here. Like every time she has a live, I want to put that up there. Every time talk, we want to just amplify, those amazing voices and things that are happening in your area, right? So
Mm-hmm.
teaching and
Yeah,
cheating
because
by listening with the sound off. That's funny.
it's like,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, because
No.
it's like it's cool like to be with just I don't know. I just enjoy spending money with black people. To be honest, like it feels nice, or just to know. I like knowing where my money is going because like my whole
Yes.
thing is like okay, at least like, if I give it to you, like I know what you're gonna spend your money on. Because if I see you got a new jacket, you probably like I'm not gonna say that my money went to that jacket, but
Right. You
like
kind of
okay,
did.
I see where it went. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
and
Right.
I can't. I don't like seeing like that type of impact. Like saying like, oh, I
Mm.
was trying to do this. I needed, and then I need this. And so let's say I spend this bread with you, and then you get it, and then it makes me feel a whole lot better versus like I'm going off and I'm spending my money at McDonald's, and then they flipping it,
Yes.
giving it to like some rapper to make more people buy McDonald's. Like
Right.
that, to me, I was like, that's I'm feeding the disease to give more disease to the community, and
Right.
like that's not how I want to be. So it's like I would much rather just spend it with my folk and
Yeah.
see how
Absolutely.
that immediate impact happens or see the impact on a closer level. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I strongly believe that as well. It's tougher in my area when there isn't as much black enterprise. So, but that
Mm.
wherever I can, I do, right? Like that's definitely one of those things I look for. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's yeah, I hear you on that.
And that's the thing. Like it's hard to find. Like it's really hard to find because a lot of people are still like grassroots or like you got to be like in the like really like in the community kind of like to know
Mm,
like what's going down, and like that's the thing of because when I was talking to some people, it's like I don't want to put myself out there and get co-opted by the white people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
yeah,
this
yeah,
look at this black person doing all this, rah rah rah. Get behind them, support them, and like that's like a that's like a thing. So it's like they just want
yeah.
to stay in the community because like they feel like once you get kind of like a white backing, like you just you gone. Like, yeah, you
Right,
gone.
exactly. And then they take credit for it. But
Yeah.
as Sonia and I talk about these type of things too, because I think that's true that can happen, but I still push back against that because I'm still dictating what's happening here. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah,
so if you wanna feel nice about yourself by taking some credit for it, it's not true. And I'm
yeah,
going to continue to amplify voices. And actually, I'm going to leverage your white voice, thinking that's helping my black voice, but actually, you know what I'm saying? Like I almost like
yeah,
reverse that psychology and continue to
yeah.
leverage and amplify other voices with it and take
Mhm,
advantage of that system. How do I get paid more for that system so that I can help someone out? You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like
Exactly.
I still control the ship here to some degree.
Right. And then that's something that, I'm still learning that myself. Like,
Mhm. Oh, absolutely.
cause I really like Huey Newton is one of my favorite people on earth. Like for real. Like,
Yeah.
and then like I read his book 2, 3 times through. I even taught like a class on chapter 22. It's called Raising Consciousness. Taught like a
Okay.
class group of young boys about that, and it's like
Amazing.
so like when I was like get into these moments, and I just have to really like almost have to remove myself from being black. Like, I can't like see myself as black in those moments sometimes because it was like, yes, I know I have this skin, I know
Hmm.
that I look like this, but if if I'm able to be me with them, uh, I get to control the narrative in
Yes.
this shape or form as what they see when they see this black body. So
Yes.
like if anything, changing just a little bit of how they see black people, and
Yes.
but I also have to make sure that you know, I'm myself, I'm my complete
You stay
self, in
authentic. Yeah.
in those moments because I need to show them like, yeah, I can talk with you, but like, yeah, don't step to me because I might, like I can have that. That part that they scared of, like it's
Yes.
still there, but like I have levels. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yes.
just on the spectrum. I'm not just
That's
angry all
yeah.
the time. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say it's almost like it's like Jesus. Like he could smite everybody, but he's meek. Like there's a
Exactly.
sense of like you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
yeah, yeah. Yeah, for real,
so
for real.
I yeah. So that's the thing. So I hear you on that, and that so even like when you say like that not being, I don't say not being black in that moment, but look, there's a way, much like with our clients, when we can step outside of our identity just being our skin tone and saying
Mm-hmm,
I'm an authority in this arena,
mm-hmm,
here's why, and I'm not gonna compromise who I am, but I'm also gonna let you see, you're also gonna see my light shine right now. And that has nothing to do with my skin tone. That has everything to do with who I am from the inside out.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because skin is just superficial. Like it's just so superficial. Like, but I understand like a lot of our thought processes are dominated by that because it's what we see first. So it's like
Yes.
I get it, and it's like I'm not mad at it, or it frustrates me, but I'm not like
Mhm.
mad at it. So, but
Right.
kind of like tapping into like a deeper place, like
Yes.
for real, just to understand. Like I see you as like one time, one of my clients, he was like, "Yeah, I'm a racist," and I was like, "Like what do I do?
Where do
What
we
do
go
I
from
do? What
here?
do I
Yes.
do?"
Yes.
Yeah, and then I was like, I can't help when you were born." That's all. That's what I said to him. I said, "I can't help when you were born. You're here now.
Yes.
This is what we're doing, and we can have a conversation about this, but right now, let's just finish these stretches."
Right.
But as time went on, he ended up being one of like I actually look forward to our sessions. So it's like,
Hmm.
but like when after that happened, like I was it took a lot out of me as far as like how do I respond to this person?
Yes.
Do I come out here and I'm out here swinging like trying to knock him out, or like do I blow the whole spot up? What do
Right.
I do? But like I had to
Basically,
understand,
like how do I maneuver?
yeah. And then I was like,
Right. Like
it was like it's like man, like I had to remind myself because like with the teaching that I do with like the social justice is a lot about creating space for people to speak their
yes.
truth, right?
Yes.
And then I was going around saying I much rather a white person just tell me that they're racist to my face anyway, so I just know how to move whatever. Be
Yeah.
careful what you ask for. Careful what you ask for.
Right, because you're gonna
So
have to actually put it into practice.
yeah, and
Yes.
then So it's like, so I'm doing this in my training. I'm intentionally creating a space for this person to feel comfortable enough to move their body in weird ways. So of course,
Yes.
if they're comfortable like that, they might
Yes.
say some things, and
Right.
and so I was like, all right, so I created. He felt comfortable enough with me to share with me that
Yes.
he was just saying that I was born in the 1950s. My parents were this. My parents taught me to be this. Like, so he
Yes.
said, I'm a racist. And so I was like, so I had to really think through that and like kind of like, okay, so he was coming to me as a human more
Yes.
than like I'm a white man telling you that I'm racist.
Yes.
Those are two different things. Those are two different
Right.
things. So
Yes.
I was like, so I could respect that. I was like, he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was just letting me know. And I was like,
That's a that's an amazing moment.
mm-hmm.
That is an amazing moment because that's a human to human dialogue.
Right, right, right. So, and I was like, well, it can't happen. And that kind of like, it helped ease my transition. Well, as
Yes.
far as like when I'm seeing all these things happening in the world, as far as like keeping faith in white people, like that, I kind of hold on to those moments. Like I hold on to those little moments like that to be like,
Right.
it's, it's not sweet at all. It's
Hmm.
not sweet at all.
Hmm.
What's those like? uh,
Yes.
and then it's not sweet at all. But at the same time, like I have to hold on to that because like at the end of the day, folk are human. Like it's just what it is.
Yes.
Like
Right.
they got indoctrinated to the same system I got indoctrinated to, and like they it's just what happened that it benefits them more than it benefits me. So look, I understand like somebody come and try to take something of mine, like, nah, you're not about to take this.
Right.
Like it's not what's going
Yeah.
down. Like you're gonna have to fight me for it, like to the death
Right.
almost. So it's just like I understand where all that is coming from. But then at the same time I was just like I want everybody to feel good. So it's like I can't
Yes.
it's a tough spot to be. Tough
No.
spot.
No, that's an amazing story. Where is Porch and Lemonade 5 years from now?
5 years from now, hopefully I have my or at least open up a space or something like that. Because my
Okay.
goal is with me and my homies, we want to like open up like a holistic wellness facility, and but like kind of like take it like through different levels. Like talking about like the first level would be like a community type building. So you don't talk about no business, you don't talk about nothing. It's all about just chilling, hanging out,
Yes.
and not really on no like we trying to save the world. Like those save the world's conversations are not allowed in that space.
Right.
And then you can like build it up from there. Then you have like a personal finance or like some educational type things to hang out. Then you have your fitness and your
Hmm.
wellness and like kind of nutrition, like all those other things. So like that's, but as far as within the next 5 years, I would like to at least have my own space for, um, at least have my own space to practice Pilates or practice fitness or just practice like wellness. It's a space to teach out of, and
Yes.
and hopefully that by that time I have influenced or inspired enough people to want to more black people to get in. What's good,
Hmm.
Stephen? Uh,
Yeah.
inspire more black people to get involved in Pilates, cause
Yes.
just cause healing is the real thing. What's good, Otto? Healing is the real thing. And it's like Pilates is a real healing thing. I was reading The Caged Lion, and I just remember that story when Joe was in the hospital right before he died, and he was
Hmm.
saying that I just need to be in my bed and to squeeze the mucus out of me and everything to get right. But like
Hmm.
that right there, just reading that and then like understanding, seeing how he understood the body and how he understood how healing movement heals, like for real. And it's
Yes.
like that's something that I want to pass on, like for because
Love
that's what
that.
he's doing. That's what he did. That's the lineage from him, especially like and then learning about Kathy Grant, like it's even more wild. Like I tell people, like I want to be the next Kathy Grant if I can. Like I'm trying to do that, and
Yes.
so it's like just to heal the people is like something that I really want to or offer, not me personally heal people, but me
I know what you mean.
give them the tool to,
Yes.
learn to try to heal themselves. And
Yes.
that's really what it is more than anything.
Love that.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see this journey and to walk this journey with you, man. Like, I'm cheering on you. I'm cheering for you
Appreciate it.
like you would believe, man. Like that's
It's
good
good,
stuff.
Deji.
Can you imagine like we're joking about like your guy who owned the building, now you're training and all these different things. That stuff is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the moments when people like that turn around and say, you know what? I'm gonna give you this building because it's economically it helps me to have something for you to run it out of. And
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
love when those moments happen when we start to speak things out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the more you get that vision out there, the more accountable you become to that vision, and you realize
Yeah.
that people start to latch onto that vision, and then things start to happen from there. So
Yeah. For real. For real. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. That's the part of the reason why I do all this work, like internal work on myself, because like
yes,
I'm not a social media person. Like I don't like Instagram or Twitter, none of that. Like
yeah,
that's just not me. But like
yeah,
like this is like it's our giving like a platform to promote what I want to promote and
yes,
really offer that to people. It's like it's crazy. It's wild just to have it. And I'm growing as a person myself, just
yes,
able to help people.
man.
So,
You have Sonya in your corner too.
yeah, for real, for real, for real. Like shout
That's
out Sonya.
that's that's all. I bet that's pretty much all you need. That is an
Hold
army.
on. I will be wrong. I will be wrong if I didn't shout out Mama T, Teresa Ellis over at Pilates.
Yes,
Damn, like that's my mama in Pilates. Like I ride for
yes,
her, she ride for me, I ride for everybody. But like I could not get on here and not shout her out. That was disrespectful.
love. She's the best.
Yeah, she really is. She really is.
She
Watch out for her. Watch out for her. She about to blow up. She about to blow
oh,
up.
she's blown up, man. Like
Yeah.
she's doing
What's
it.
good, dudes? I'm sorry. See my people popping in.
It's all good. All right, but man, Jared, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time
Oh
doing
yeah,
this,
I
man. Like,
appreciate you
you know
just
what I'm
giving me
saying?
the opportunity.
Oh man, the
For real, for
pleasure
real.
is mine. 'Cause I'm excited to see where you're going. And like you said, if you're not like a social media person, this is really isn't your thing. I know that this is a stretch to do this, and like, what are we
Mhm.
gonna talk about for an hour? And it's at 59. Like, we blew through that time
Right.
because you're a passionate person. Like, and just like continue to be led by that passion and let it continue to just lead you where you go, man. So
Will do. Will do. Appreciate it.
all
Will do.
right. All right. Thank you to everybody who's watching and all the shout outs. Thank you, Sonia, for cheering both of us on.
Yes, yes,
Definitely feel your
yes.
love. Uh, yeah,
Thank you.
let's
Thank you.
see.
Thank you. Going
Lots
on.
of people here are cheering on. All right. I will send you the replay afterwards. I'm going to send you Iffy's information too. Sonia, I mentioned Iffy and just the business that she's running there. Um, Claire Dunphy-Hennies is here. Thank you, Grace, for cheering on your boy. Your guy's doing it great. Neil Prasad, I see you. Lots of people, lots of
Appreciate
love.
everybody. Thank you, Kelly Pilates, Pilates Avatar. All y'all, for real. Much love, much love. Peace and blessings to y'all. All of
Yes, yes.
y'all.
Done. All right, man. I'm signing you off. Thank you so
All
much,
right,
man. All right,
peace.
take care.